This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
Hey, what's happening, you guys? Welcome back to the Let's Go Win podcast. You are here for a Tuesday tune-up. My name is J.M. Ryerson, and we're going to be talking about leadership today. An excellent plan to improve your leadership. Capital E, capital E, capital E in that excellent, because every year I set up to plan to improve my leadership skills. I believe that leadership is an ever-changing area of expertise. There are principles that will stay consistent, but with leadership that worked in the 70s was different from the 90s, and the 90s leadership is different from today. The world is changing, and leaders need to be able to adapt to these changes to provide the most optimal leadership. The excellent plan that I use on a yearly basis is easy to remember and will significantly help you improve leadership skills when applied to your routine. So the first E in that excellent is evaluate. To start any plan, you need to know where you stand first. So what is my leadership style today? What are my strengths in leadership? What are my weaknesses? Being honest with yourself and assessing where you are is a great first step. The challenge is that we are not completely subjective or really aware of how we show up for others. So you have a real opportunity to reach out to those you lead and ask them those same questions. I know that sounds like a scary idea at first, but you might be pleasantly surprised at how well you're doing in many areas and get clarity on your flat sides. This exercise will save you time and help in building your plan to improve your leadership skills. On a regular basis, I will typically every 3 to 6 months reach out to people and just ask, hey, where do I stand? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And how is my leadership style? Is it working for you? Because here's the other thing. Everybody gets motivated and is incentivized differently. So you might have a plan that works for one, but doesn't work for someone else on your team. And you want to know that. So the second E, and actually there's 2 E's in this one, but the second E is to establish and then execute. With the feedback that you received from your team and from yourself, now it's time to plan. How can I improve my weaknesses? Are there leadership courses that I can enroll in? Do I have a mentor or someone that I look up to as a leader that can guide me? And most importantly, what are my leadership goals? As Benjamin Franklin famously said, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You don't want to fail as a leader, and your team deserves your very best. So make your leadership plan. The execution part, in my opinion, is the easy part, because as a leader, you're willing to put in that work. Share your plan with your team to keep you accountable and help them build their own leadership plan for the year as well. This way, you can not only have a formidable plan in place, but be provided with other goals to improve leadership that you may not have thought of. So every year, establish it and execute. And by having that open dialogue with your team, you will know whether you're on track or whether we're missing out. And some of those leadership classes or books or seminars, doing it with someone else, you get their thoughts, their input, and it's so helpful. And lastly, the last E is to evolve. Be open to ideas and willing to change. As Dr. Steve Maraboli said, look around you. Everything changes. Everything on this earth is in a continuous state of evolving, refining, improving, adapting, enhancing, and changing. You were not put on this earth to remain stagnant. And your leadership is the same in that it is not stagnant. That is not static. It is ever changing. The way that you led last year may not, or maybe the best way to lead this year, but be willing to change. If you are open to change, then your goals can continue to grow and get better. And remember, when you are growing, typically you are uncomfortable. So be okay with that. Oh, this is uncomfortable. That means I'm getting better. That means I'm growing. That means I'm getting better. So are you excited to work on your leadership plan? I hope you are, because it's one of the most rewarding things that I do for myself every year. The best investment that you can make is an investment in yourself. The more you learn, the more you will earn, is what Warren Buffett said. And obviously he's done okay as being one of the most successful investors the world's ever seen. But he wasn't talking just about monetary earnings. He was talking about wealth in all areas of life. So investing in your leadership will pay you back as a parent, as a spouse, as a business partner, all the roles that we serve in this world. I hope you take the time and think of, what is my excellent plan? So evaluate, where am I at today and where do I want to get to? Once you establish what that is, now just go execute on that plan. And lastly, if it's not working, or maybe it's time for a refresher, or maybe someone new is on your team, be willing to evolve, because it's never, I know that my leadership has changed. It's shifted. It's gotten better and sometimes worse, but I'm always willing to grow and get better, because I want to serve as the best leader that I can possible. So I would love to hear your guys' leadership plans. Please share that at Let's Go Win 365 on any of our social media platforms. And to my team, I want to say thank you for giving me that feedback, allowing me to evolve in my leadership. It is so crucial that my team, I give them permission to give me feedback, and that they're willing to put themselves out there and say, yeah, this is where you're okay. This is where you kind of suck. This is where you're pretty good. That is valuable feedback for me. So hopefully you have the same opportunity. And lastly, guys, share this with anybody you know that's working on their leadership. I think anybody knows that they want to improve as leaders. It's such an important part of our world. So share it with the people that you know. I'm trying and continue to grow this podcast because I believe in it, and it's been so rewarding and fulfilling to me, and I want to share that with other people. So until next time, you guys, remember, your mindset matters. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.